In 1944, the war in Europe reached a decisive stage. Allied troops pressed forward, armor grinding through the forests of France while enemy divisions reeled. Intelligence broke codes and mapped the next move.
By the winter of 1944, the Allied armies in Europe were stretched thin. Cities lay in ruins, yet each mile forward demanded another sacrifice, from the airfields of England to the makeshift hospitals near the front.
By the summer of 1944, Allied armies were on the move. From the hedgerows of Normandy to the factories back home, millions of men and women were united in a single, grinding effort. It was the largest military.
By the spring of 1944, the Allies were on the move. From the hedgerows of Normandy to the narrow streets of French villages, and across the skies of Europe, a generation of soldiers.
In the summer of 1944, the tide began to turn. Allied troops stormed the beaches, armor crawled through the mud, and bombers darkened the skies. Decisions made on maps would decide the fate of nations.
Across Europe and the Pacific, the Second World War turned ordinary men and women into instruments of survival. Steel and courage rolled ashore on the beaches of Normandy. In ruined towns, soldiers fought.
In the final winter of the war, cities across Europe lay in ruins, yet the fighting did not stop. On the ground, armor and infantry pushed relentlessly forward. Overhead, bomber crews braved flak-filled skies.
By 1944, the Allies had clawed their way across the ruins of Europe. From the skies above France, thousands of paratroopers leapt into darkness to open the road on the beaches of Normandy.
Across Europe and the Pacific, ordinary men were thrust into a conflict that reshaped the world. They held the line in smoky trenches, ferried across cold rivers, and planned every move in dimly lit bunkers. And
high above occupied Europe, the crews of heavy bombers fought a battle as relentless as any on the ground. Each mission meant hours in the thin, frigid air, engines straining, the sky alive.
In 1944, the Allies stormed a coastline turned into a fortress. Against raking fire and mine-strewn surf, ordinary men fought their way ashore.
From the mud of Europe to the skies over the Pacific, a generation stood in defiance of tyranny. They forged weapons, flew into fire, and spoke with unshakable resolve.
In the autumn of 1944, Allied air power pressed deeper into occupied Europe. Fighter escorts and heavy bombers took to the sky each dawn, carrying the war to the heart of the Reich. Mechanics worked.
Throughout the summer of 1940, the Royal Air Force scrambled every aircraft it could muster. Among them, the agile Supermarine Spitfire became a symbol of defiance. High over the English countryside, fighter squadrons.
By the autumn of 1943, Allied air power stretched from the English coast to the far edge of the Atlantic. Bomber streams pushed deep into occupied Europe, and fighter escorts grew ever bolder.